Have you ever asked yourself, why does something that used to feel wrong no longer bother me? That's the danger of a seared conscious. My name is Jacinta, and today we're going to be talking about when our conscious goes quiet. Naturally, our conscious is supposed to convict us when we depart from truth, but when it is ignored, excused, or silenced long enough, it becomes numb, just like nerve endings banned until they can't feel anymore. Today, I want to talk about what it looks like in real life and how we can awaken a conscious that has gone quiet. To be honest, a seared conscious does not happen overnight. It's gradual. At first, it's small compromises. A little white lie, a shortcut, a silence when you should have spoken. But when you find these compromises on a repeat mode, it starts becoming normal to you, especially when that inner alarm that used to warn you stops ringing. That's a pattern you need to acknowledge and recognize. Let me give you one example in real life. Let's look at an example in the corporate world. I'm going to look at Volkswagen's emissions scandal. Let me just get this and read it here. The Volkswagen emissions scandal, also known as Dieselgate, is a major corporate scandal that erupted in 2015 when it was revealed that Volkswagen had been using illegal device software to cheat on emissions tests. The company programmed its diesel vehicles to appear compliant with regulations during laboratory testing. While in real-world driving conditions, they emitted nitrogen oxides, far exceeding legal limits. Now, this was an investigation that was done. Initially, it was done in 2013 when the International Council on Clean Transportation commissioned tests by West Virginia University on diesel cars in the US to determine if they could be clean under real-world conditions. Now, that is an example of when conscious is being dulled. Let me give you another example in finance. Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo was involved in a major scandal where employees pressured by aggressive sales quotas opened millions of unauthorized customer accounts without consent, sometimes even creating fake identities. This widespread misconduct resulted in the bank paying billions in fines and penalties, damaging its reputation and leading to significant operational restrictions, such as an asset cap imposed by the Federal Reserve in 2018 that was only recently lifted. Now, do you realize that this sales pressure made small shortcuts seem acceptable until it became a systemic fraud? This also happens in our day-to-day lives. Let me be honest with you. Every time I'm about to hit a major breakthrough in my life or work, something rises up in me that doesn't feel like me. I become anxious, I demand perfection, and if people don't respond the way I want, I take it personal. Suddenly, I become reactive, defensive, almost like a totally different person. Now, this is what you call a near breakthrough sabotage. And here's the painful part. It has cost me professionally and personally. People who have worked closely with me have seen this side and thought, this isn't the Jacinta we know. It has damaged relationships and even pushed away good people. But the good news is, recently with the help of a mentor, I caught it in action. I felt it start to rise. And instead of letting it take over, I paused, I acknowledged it, and I immediately apologized first. FAST. I apologized first to the people that were affected by this near breakthrough sabotage right away before we even slept on it. And what could have destroyed trust again turned into reconciliation. I realized that this wasn't just a bad mood. It was a character flaw that the enemy wanted to use to sabotage my breakthroughs and dull my conscience, to make me lose the very people that God had sent to help me. I prayed and I asked the Holy Spirit to take this away from me. This is not who I am. This is not my true self. And you know what? That honesty, that awareness was my turning point. I could finally see the pattern very clearly. Breakthrough is coming, pressure builds, perfectionism, defensiveness, finally damage. And once I saw it, I could subdue it. So maybe you don't wrestle with the same flaw that I do, but here's the truth. All of us have patterns that can sear our conscience and sabotage our destinies. Maybe for you it could be pride, It could be people pleasing. It could be defensiveness. It could be anger. It could be a lack of self-control. It could be bitterness. That flaw may be different, but the danger is the same. It blinds you to the truth. It hurts people around you, and it derails your calling. That's why I want to give you the same process that I now use to reset myself when this pattern shows up. This framework is drawn from my story. It's called a sabotage set. Now, S stands for signal the season. Say it out loud. I am at the edge of a breakthrough. This is when my sabotage shows up. A is for audit the trigger. This is what I wrote down. I feel anxious because I'm telling myself it must be perfect now. B is for breathe. I step back, I reset my body, and pray. O is for open to outside eyes. Honestly, that's the only way you can heal. This is what I wrote down. I call my mentor or a trusted friend and confess I feel it rising. I put it up and say, what is the sabotage set framework? I'm yet to follow the same exact steps so that I get out of that trap if it happens again. Now, T is for truth tests. I ask, would I be proud to explain this to a child? If someone did this to me, would I feel respected? E is for exchange the behavior. Instead of reacting, I choose humility, I choose patience, and I choose transparency. U is for undo the damage quickly, because here is where you apologize the same day. You've learned, because delayed apologies compound the wound. R is for rules and guardrails. I don't make big decisions late at night. I run tough messages past someone else, and I review my conscience weekly in prayer. Simple framework that you can also develop from your flow. If you accept it, if you're aware of it, if you acknowledge it, and you say, let me use my flow to come up with a solution to this problem which could help somebody else. And that's how we create more problem solvers who can actually acknowledge the challenges that they are experiencing and develop solutions to those challenges which could solve so many other people's problems. I'm still in the process, but here's what I know. My gifts are powerful. My words carry weight, but without guardrails, they can destroy instead of build. I choose honesty, I choose humility, and I choose to keep my conscience alive. If you've noticed a pattern that sabotages your progress, don't deny it. Name it. Subdue it. Apologize fast. Ask the Holy Spirit to help you. Protect your relationships and the calling that are meant to carry you into your breakthrough. Now, this way you are honest and not self-condemning. You're modeling vulnerability and leadership by turning your flow into a teaching framework. So let me ask you, what falsehood might you have embraced to justify your actions? Where do you tell yourself, everybody does it, it's not really that bad? Seared? Could it be that your conscience has been slowly seared? If those questions stink, that is good news. That means your alarm is still working. So how do we reawaken a seared conscience? Let me give you a step-by-step guide. From blind spot to awareness to ownership and then repair. Use this process for any character flaw, be it pride, defensiveness, bitterness, anger, a lack of self-control, envy, control, manipulation, especially those that you suspect are numbing your conscience. Here's a simple roadmap. I'm going to read it out for you. 1. Spot the pattern. Pay attention for 2 weeks. Where do you cut corners? Where do you shed the truth? Write it down. 2. Name the story. What excuse do you use to feel okay? Everyone does it. I'm just being practical. Naming it strips it of its power. 3. Test it. Ask yourself, would I act the same way if the world saw? Would I accept this if someone did it to me? If everyone acted this way, what would happen? 4. Invite outside eyes. Ask trusted people. Could be your mentor, could be a trusted friend. What do you see in me when I'm under pressure? Give them permission to be honest. 5. Own it. Not with excuses. One sentence. I did X. It caused Y. I was wrong. It was wrong. 6. Practice the opposite virtue. If you're defensive, practice listening. If you cut corners, practice full transparency. Small repetitions retain your consistency. Now, 7, make it right. Where possible, apologize. Restore, make restitution. Healing flows when you repair what's broken. Now, I gave you my framework from my experience, Sabotaged set, but this is a step-by-step guide that you can actually use for any character flaw, from blind spot to awareness to ownership to repair. As we come to the close, a seared conscious doesn't have to stay silent. Every small act of honesty, humility, and courage resensitizes it. And when your conscious is alive again, you will walk lighter, you will lead stronger, and people will trust your word again. Now here's the challenge. This week, run one truth test on yourself. Pause before your next big choice and ask, would I be proud to explain this to a child? If your answer is no, do not sear your conscious further. Stop, reset, and choose truth. Because when your conscious is alive, your leadership and your life become unshakable. So, is it time for your wake-up call? My name is Jacinta. Have a blessed one.